Wondering why so many people are moving to Roanoke?
Stay tuned for the inside scoop. Hey, what's happening? It's Hal Cohn.
And Chris Cohn with Cohn Realty Group.
If this happens to be your first time to our channel, your 100th, your 1,000th, 10,000th, but I don't think anybody's made it to 10,000 yet. But if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure you click the subscribe button as well as the notification icon so that you're notified each and every time that we release a new video about living, working, and playing in the wonderful and amazing Roanoke Valley that we call home.
You got it.
I got it today, yes.
It is a pretty incredible place to live, and if you're thinking about moving to or within Roanoke, Salem, Botetourt, or surrounding areas, we would love to have a conversation with you, answer any questions you can have, and just kind of guide you. Even if it's your friends and family, let them know about our channel. We would love to talk to them as well. You can call us, text us, or email us.
Get after it.
I love how you say that at the end all the time. Got it. Do it. Call us.
You're gonna make it happen. Make it happen.
Yeah, we want to make sure that you are well taken care of. I mean, I'm passionate about it.
So this video feels a little different today.
It is a little different.
But one of these things just doesn't belong here.
So we wanted to kind of talk to you guys about the fact that YouTube is an amazing avenue to give you guys some great information. And in the process, we have had a ton of people that have reached out to us in the past few months that are looking to actually move to Roanoke, and some have already moved here and have great homes.
And we've enjoyed helping each one, and I just love hearing their stories. That's what I like about real estate so much, is helping people get into their dream home or selling their home to move to their next adventure. But it is always really cool to hear people's stories, and especially when they're coming from outside of Roanoke, Virginia, and they were attracted to Roanoke, Virginia for one reason or another. And we wanted to really dive into that. But before we go into that, you know, we've had, like you mentioned, we've had a huge response of people just like you that were watching YouTube, and they were drawn to Roanoke, and they've reached out to us, and it's been great conversations. I've enjoyed that so much. We were thinking about where people have come from.
Yeah, and what song were you singing?
Oh, did y'all learn the 50 States song? I'm a terrible singer. Can you sing it?
I don't remember. I didn't learn it. I grew up in Georgia. I did not hear that song. I had to memorize it. I didn't have a song. I guess they taught you that in Virginia though, right?
I guess.
Trenton's in New Jersey, north of Jefferson, Missouri. You got Richmond in Virginia, South Dakota has Pierre. Harrisburg's in Pennsylvania, and Augusta's up in Maine. And here is Providence, Rhode Island, next to Dover, Delaware.
I guess we were a little advanced.
That's right.
But it's all 50 states set to a tune that if I were not mortified about singing, I would sing for you now. But we ran through that song and we were writing down who we've helped in the states, and we've captured quite a few attention from quite a few states. So
yeah, so people are looking for Roanoke, Virginia to visit, or Roanoke, Virginia in general, like, hey, we want to move there, have thought about it, found our YouTube videos, thrilled that they found those, and we've been able to provide some great value, so hopefully that was as valuable to you. But the states that we named off, I was like, oh my goodness gracious,
Right.
there are so many. We haven't hit all 50 yet, so if your state's not called here and you're looking, you need to be added to the list. So we need you to move here.
And these are folks that were actively in the like, not end stages, but
Either we have helped them buy a home.
I need somebody help, not just anybody help.
right, they're done and they're here.
They're in the process of selling a home in another state and moving here, or they are renting and moving here, but they're
like 90% here.
that's such a thing.
Seems legit.
So so we don't become bumbling idiots here. Let's see what states did we come up with that we were actually been able to help.
I remember Wisconsin and Massachusetts.
Texas, Utah, California.
Oh yeah, Arizona, Florida. Well, Florida is a big state, and we do have a lot of people saying it's so hot there. Vermont.
Virginia, of all places. So if people from Virginia Beach, they want to leave the coast and move to the mountains, we would agree. Idaho, Delaware, Hawaii.
Hawaii, that's been a really fun client to work with. Illinois and Connecticut, Missouri too, Washington State.
And Pennsylvania. Oh yeah.
Which is a good segue to what we're talking about today. As we mentioned earlier, a little bit different video format because we just wanted to have a casual conversation with you and let you know what we're hearing, what the feedback has been from people from those states moving there, or people that we've just had initial conversations with.
Yeah.
That why they want to move here. What was it about Roanoke? How'd you find Roanoke, and what do you love about it? What are you drawn to? So we've got the top 5 reasons you should move to Roanoke, Virginia, based on people just like yourself.
That's right. So what's the one we're going to talk about first? Number 1 is going to be 4. Count on 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 seasons. Here in the Roanoke Valley.
Right.
So people are either tired of the bitter cold or they're tired of the insane heat. And they're like, we want a place that is a little bit more moderate in those areas, but we still get all 4 seasons. We don't just have 2 seasons throughout the year.
Yeah, you know, I really took this for granted growing up here. I just assumed everywhere had 4 seasons. But we have 4 very distinct seasons. So we're talking about a pretty mild winter with occasional snowfall and ice that makes you just so excited. And you've heard us talk about Hallmark holiday when everything shuts down because of our 2, 3, 6 inches of snow. So it's just a magical time of building snowmen and sledding.
And this year we had 2 great opportunities to go sledding this year. So we had just enough snow to go sledding a couple times, but nothing really shut down that much this year, to be honest with you, in comparison to the past sometimes.
And it's not bitter cold, and we have the infrastructure. I feel like, from my personal experience, I feel like we have the infrastructure in place to take care of the roads and get you where you need to go safely if you need to be out on the roads. So that's good.
Yeah, like we said, most any corporation or institution, especially education-wise, they pretty much shut down if we have snow.
I say bah, humbug.
I mean, you could probably go and you can get out and about no problem. So don't let it scare you by any means. We do get a little bit, but it's just a nice little taste. Like we said, it's a Hallmark holiday type of day or 2 days whenever that does happen. So everybody embraces it. They drink hot cocoa, they watch Hallmark movies or Lifetime movies, and then they start the day again.
And then spring, which is the season we're in right now, currently filming, it is just like this beauty of color. What I have really enjoyed this spring is that every day something new is blooming. From the forsythia, which transitioned to the daffodils and the jonquils, and then the tulips, and now I've got some of our irises blooming. So it's just if you go away and come back, you'll see the cherry trees that were just budding in full bloom, and our just flora and fauna in this area is just gorgeous. You're surrounded by mountains. It's very serene and relaxing. And then, you know, the other day I went, about 2 weeks ago, went hiking, and then we just went back on that trail this past weekend. And I was so surprised at the changes you had just seen in just 2 weeks.
Yeah, and another example of that is just this past week, we took a 3-hour trip down to Raleigh. And while we were there, our dogwoods had not popped out just yet at our house. But we came back and they were vibrant pink. And what's a good one for white?
Cream.
Cream?
It's kind of a creamy white.
Okay. But they were budded out, they were popping, and they are just gorgeous right now. And that was just after a couple of days being gone to Raleigh for a little shopping trip.
Right. And I love spring for the temperatures. It fluctuates a little bit. In the morning it's a little chilly. In the afternoon it's quite pleasant. So that's really refreshing. And then that leads us to summer. Summertime can get hot here. It can get a little humid. I think it's all in what you're used to. I mean, talk to us about Georgia versus here.
Well, 2 examples here. So number 1, I grew up in Southwest Georgia. It was 100 degrees during the summer, and it was like 100% humidity. And you've probably heard this story of me, and my mom loves to tell this story, the fact that I would go and I would help work at a moving and storage company. So I help people move furniture, people that were moving in and out of Thomasville, Georgia. in the process, I would sweat for days. I don't know how I stayed hydrated and I didn't pass out, because I would come home in my blue jeans.
Forever in blue jeans, yeah.
Because my boss required me to wear blue jeans so he wouldn't scrape up our legs. I would come home and they'd be so saturated. By the time they dried, there's so much salt and electrolytes that had come out that you could just stand them up, my mom would say. It's pretty gross, but that's how sweaty, how humid and hot it was. You don't get that here. You have a few days, couple weeks maybe that you get that. And then we also had some clients, we didn't put South Carolina on there, but we got some folks that are thinking about moving here from South Carolina, and they were talking about how miserably humid it is in Columbia, South Carolina area. So they're like, is it like that all the time here? And we're like, no, you do have some. We're gonna be honest, there is some humidity during the summer. However, it's not like 95, 100 degrees for like a month at a time. You get that in waves, you get a little bit of humidity. So we will tell you do have humidity, but it's nothing as bad as like if you're even further south.
It's just perfect pool weather. Just go to the pool, go to the lake, go fishing, whatever you want to do on the river. River fun. But we have a video on this. Actually, we have a video on pretty much every single topic we're going to talk about today. So if you want to dig into these topics a little further, please do. We've got average temperatures, snowfall, all that on the other video. And then we already talked about winter, so that's it. So that wraps up.
You missed fall, your favorite.
Don't you forget about me.
Your favorite season,
Oh
fall.
my goodness.
How could you miss that?
I don't know. What is that subconsciously mean?
I don't know.
I'm so sorry. Fall?
Winter, spring, summer. Okay, winter, spring, summer. There's 4 seasons. So the 4th season we want to tell you about is Chris's favorite, and that would be fall.
Fall. I'm so sorry. I have no idea how I was about to skip over that. Fall is the time that the mountains just come alive, and it is just this radiating beauty of color and activity and pumpkin spice lattes and high knee boots and pumpkin patches.
I just say pumpkin patches,
fall
festivals, Halloween.
I love, love, love it. The atmosphere. I mean, you get so much energy from people, I think, in spring and fall. But fall is just powerful here. It's beautiful.
And why is it so majestic on the mountainside? Because of all the radiant colors you see when the leaves turn.
Yeah, we have lots of maples here, native, and those maples just shine brilliant red and orange and yellow, depending on the type. So just gorgeous here in the fall, and the weather starts cooling off, and you got good football weather, and it just opens up a lot of activities.
Yes.
Yeah. So 4 seasons. Can we wrap it up now? We got the 4 seasons.
Yeah, did you want to say anything? I guess we'll talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about camping in the fall.
Oh, I love camping. That's an activity.
Yeah.
All those kind of intermingle into the different categories.
We'll get there. Keep on keeping on with us. So, yeah, so we can wrap up 4 seasons now.
Yep.
We talked about winter, spring, summer, and fall.
I thought that was really neat that clients say that that's one of their main reasons that they moved here. So,
we take it for granted because we live here all the time, but if you are interested in 4 seasons, you better get on down here or up here, depending on where you're coming from.
That's right. So the next one is cost of living. Number 2. Cost of living. Yeah.
We do not have a super expensive cost of living. Can we just stop it there?
I think that was sufficient, yeah. Now we have so many videos on this, and I encourage you again to explore those videos, but compared to other areas, if you take a look at our day-to-day expenses and look at those 6 different categories, you can see that our cost of living is typically well below national average and typically below state average as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if memory serves me correctly, we're like 18 to 20% lower than the national average, depending upon which website you're looking at.
Right.
So, and our biggest saving is in real estate with houses whenever you purchase those. Now, we have seen appreciation, tremendous appreciation over 2020 to 2021, just like all of the country. So you're still at a very reasonable price point when you look to buy a home or purchase a home here in the Roanoke Valley. So that's gonna be your biggest savings. So you get more bang for your buck here compared to wherever you are now, more than likely.
Right, and that's always been so much fun, seeing these clients come in and they're pleasantly surprised at the prices and saying, oh wow, I can get a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home with a garage, a basement, which a lot of people have never had,
That's
not
true.
familiar with,
Yeah.
and quite a good sized yard where they're not just touching their neighbor, and also the house has some character, whether it's historic character or just architectural charm. I think that's really cool to see their eyes light up, like when they first see those homes. Virtually and in person, they say, wow, I can afford this. This is awesome. This is like the cost of my studio home in my metropolitan area. So that's always fun to see.
And then the taxes on your real estate are not as much here either. You know,
Oh,
like
that's huge.
we talk to clients all the time, especially from the Northeast, that say, you know, basically my taxes on a little 1,200 square foot house are like $10, $11, $12,000 a year. So that is just bonkers craziness right there. I'm just
Right.
shocked. So with that, here, I mean, the most expensive areas are gonna be like Salem City, where we live. We love it, but it's like $1.22 per 100 of assessed value. With that to be said, you know, basically if you've got a $300,000 house, then you're gonna be somewhere around like $3,500 to $4,000 in property taxes for the year. But I mean,
Wait, for the year?
for the year.
For the year. That's
That's
much
right.
different.
Annually. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's at least a half, if not
I
a
know.
fourth of what you're paying in taxes in certain states. Now, I know there are some states that have cheaper taxes, property taxes,
Right.
personal property taxes, and that type of thing. But we are super reasonable, and that's what it's all about. Because whenever you're moving here, you're not just moving here for that cost. You're moving here for 4 seasons. You're moving here for cost of living, amongst 3 other things that we'll talk about here in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, let's go. Let's dive into this.
Okay, all right. Let's dive into number 3, which is going to be fun and entertainment.
Entertainment. For
So where are we
sure.
going with this one?
Well, you know, this kind of encompasses a lot of things. Entertainment can be outdoor amenities, it can be arts and culture, it can be family fun, it can be music. I know that's kind of arts and entertainment. I mean,
Yeah.
arts and culture. But we have so much to do. And I love this quote that I always come back to. Roanoke is what you make of it. And that's truly the case, because you can do so many different things based on your interests, and we speak about what we know, what we've experienced, but you could have a completely different experience that's fantastic too.
And that's one of the things I like about whenever we have clients that come into town. A lot of people say, hey, I'm going to come and check out Roanoke. So they'll rent an Airbnb or stay in a hotel for like a week. And so we give them great ideas based on some itineraries that we've actually created for our clients. So if you become one of our clients, we've got some itineraries for you. If you're not creative, but most of them come up with these like, oh, well, we went and did this, or we
Right.
went and did that, or we explored this. We're like, we haven't been there before. We've got to go check that out. So, you know, your experiences whenever you come visit are hugely valuable for us too, and allows us to explore new things that we haven't heard of or we haven't seen ourselves.
Right, and I think that's kind of typical. You usually go with what you know and what you like and what you're comfortable with.
We fear change.
But if tomorrow, here's a classic example.
All right, let's do a classic example.
I love camping and boating, as y'all know. Well, let's say tubing and whitewater rafting. But I want to learn how to kayak, right? And I'm sure there's a whole group of folks, and you were talking about mountain biking too. You'd like to learn mountain biking. Great exercise, wonderful sport to get outside. So if we were to dip our toes into that subculture, I bet it would just open up, and we would learn so much about the sport and the activities, and then the places that they go eat and they hang out and things like that. So it doesn't have to be that active. It could be something like master gardening or bird watching. Or cruising the Blue Ridge Parkway. It could be mommy groups. I'm a part of 2 mommy groups, and we talk about family fun all the time and needs of moms and all kinds of stuff. So Yeah, I mean, any age and stage, I think you can find it here, and you can find your peeps.
Yeah, and I just had a thought. This past weekend, we actually took time to explore our own backyard, basically. So, you know, we did a little bit of work Saturday morning. I went to a little Bible study, and then when I got home, Chris was like, "Oh, let's go for a hike." So we went for a hike on Sawtooth Ridge, which I'll tell anybody else about it. It's kind of
I'm
a
like,
hidden
why'd
gem.
you tell them the name? I'm just kidding.
I mean, because they deserve to explore it as well.
It's off the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah. So, anyways, we went there. We hiked with the 2 kiddos. They had great endurance, and we took Dixie. So Dixie survived it, and we
Our
all
golden
survived
doodle.
it. Yes, our golden doodle. That's right. So, most of you watched our stuff. I mean, y'all, they call us and they're like, "Oh yeah, we got a doodle too," or "We know Dixie." So we did that, and then afterwards, I was like, "Guess what we're gonna do?" Or "Guess what we're gonna eat?" She's like, "Where?" I said, "We're gonna go to Parkway Brewing Company and just chill out and have a taco."
Yeah.
We ended up not having taco. We went to Joe's Deli instead in downtown Salem, took that with us. But we had some brewskis. Kids hung out over at Parkway. The kids hung out in the creek at Parkway. We listened to some live music. My mom came over. So we just made an afternoon of it. And so that was our entertainment for Saturday, was hiking, eating something local, and then also hanging out at a local brewery to some great music. So, I mean, how many get entertainment things that encompass? A lot.
Right. And then after, when the day was done, we looked at each other and he was like, "That was an awesome day." I said, "I felt like I was on vacation."
Mm-hmm.
And so you can really just plan your vacation however you want, and just think you could live here and enjoy different itineraries every single weekend.
Yeah, are we doing any specifics here? Is that enough specifics? And we're going to go to the next one?
I think the gist of it is that people moving to this area have really found that amenities, entertainment, family fun, it's all here, and it's not too big of a city. It's all here, and it's very easily accessible. Roll on.
I like it. All right, so let's go to number 4 and stay with us the whole time. Don't stop early. You can do it. Stay with us. You got it. So now we're going to talk about hospitality.
Yes.
And we were just talking about it earlier. We're talking about customer service, but that also goes along with hospitality. Mm-hmm. You know, the art of customer service, the art of hospitality. You do not see that a lot in society nowadays, sadly. So, but we keep getting, what's the word I'm looking for? People that visit from out of state that come to Roanoke that have found us on YouTube are always talking about, man, people are so hospitable and so kind here in the Roanoke Valley.
Right. And I do feel like we have a lot of Southern hospitality here. And I think we pride ourselves on that because it is a very friendly place to live. Like when I walk down the street, I say hello or good morning to just about everybody. Mm-hmm. Whether they respond or not, I mean, it's about 50-50.
And we're teaching our daughters to do that too, right?
Yes. They're trying very hard, but I love the feedback, like you said, from our clients. Mm-hmm. Like one family that we had come up after a day of driving around looking at homes, they said, "Even your drivers are nice." And I was like, "Okay, good job, Roanoke." But you know, in general, as you're walking down the streets, people are pretty happy because of the quality of life. But when you walk into a local shop, they're generally happy to see you. Genuinely, I should say. They're genuinely happy to see you and help you. And so, you know, it's really nice, especially since we ask you and we encourage you to shop and eat and play with local vendors and local small business owners, because that's what makes Roanoke so beautiful. You know, it's just, they're happy to have you and they love what they do, and that's just gonna come through.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a great.
I said it better.
Well, thank you.
Bader.
But it is funny. We do. A lot of people say, "I'm just not used to the ma'am and the sir." You'll get that a lot here. They'll call you, like I'm always called when I'm at a store or something. They'll say, "Thank you, ma'am," or "Yes, ma'am," or "Have a good day, ma'am." It doesn't bother me.
And you'll get honey and sugar sometimes too, depending upon where
darling.
you go. That's
well,
right.
You call me darling.
I call you darling. That's right.
Song of the South, sweet potato pie, and I shut my mouth.
So that Southern hospitality, hopefully it will be like a warm hug.
Yeah.
You like that?
We love warm hugs.
All right, so what's the last one? So reason number 5 is?
Number 5 is quality of life. Quality of life.
Quality of life.
Woohoo!
Yeah. I think back to, it does have a little slower pace of life.
Which people from
Speed
more
of life.
metropolitan areas have had to get used to, they say. Because they're like, I'm not used to going 35, I'm used to going 90 down the interstate, right?
Right.
So it takes some getting used to, but the people that are used to it and have moved here, they're loving it.
Yeah, so the speed is a little slower, but the quality is exponentially larger. Sorry.
Whoa.
Exponentially. I told you anything can happen when we're just live rolling.
That's right.
I'm glad I didn't punch you.
Me too.
But the quality of life really increases because I think a lot has to do with the natural beauty of the area. Again, the friendliness of the people, the mild temperatures, all these things kind of blend together just to make the quality of life a little bit nicer and easier.
Yeah, so and one of the running jokes we have is like it takes you 20 to 25 minutes to get from anywhere in Roanoke, no matter what time of day, right? So you don't have to deal with a ton of traffic and like traffic jams and rush hour and all that. And then whenever you get home, you can choose like, hey, do I live close to the Blue Ridge Parkway? Do I live close to Carvin's Cove?
Greenway.
Do I live close to a greenway? Do I live close to a park? And if I do, basically I come home after a non-stressful drive, more than likely, put my stuff down,
Grab your dog.
grab your dog,
Or
grab your cat if you walk your cat, and go outside and explore, just embrace the beauty that's around you of where you are now calling home here in the Roanoke Valley, So you've got that. You've got opportunities to go just hang out with the family at breweries, at restaurants, whatever.
Arts and culture again. I mean, lots of artists make their way here, and I love to see the work that they do. Performing arts as well. I mean, you're never going to be without something to do. But we do have a client, it's really interesting. His tale was saying he's not an outdoors person. He doesn't even like to go outside. He likes to be inside, and that's fine. It's great too, because I think that the quality of life there, when you make connections with people, even though you may just enjoy doing things indoors or through the community, maybe even volunteering, there's lots of opportunities like that. You don't have to be like a mountain biker to live here. There's so much to do.
Oh yeah, so very true, because like you said, it's like we hike. I would probably like to bike, but I haven't gotten into it yet.
Right.
You want to kayak.
And
but
I love
yeah,
fishing.
But I mean, you got access to all those things that you would consider part of your quality of life, and you've got a ton of things to choose from each and every day, depending upon your lifestyle, your choices, what you consider quality of life. It's easy to find your niche. It's easy to find your spot, so that you can have a higher quality than where you are right now. I mean,
I think a lot of people, they just want just enough space. We keep hearing this from these clients. Just enough space that they're not touching their neighbor.
I can see for miles and miles and miles and miles.
Or their house is a little different. And we have a client now that wants to just sit on their back porch and look at nature. Not touch it, but they want to look at it. And that's great. You can find that here. There's so many different housing types. You're not going to find just subdivisions that are all cookie cutter and all the same. You're going to find so many different varieties of housing options that you can really find whatever you're looking for. You can find it here. I like that too, when people say, you're going to think this sounds weird, but I need, or what I really want is, we should make a collection of those unusual requests that people have actually found.
Yeah.
And it's been great to help them find that home with whatever strange amenity that they need. And it works. It works for their family. It's cool. It just all works together.
it all works together.
So those were some of the reasons, but really, truly the top 5 that when we asked people, what really drew you to Roanoke? What keeps you in Roanoke? And those were the top 5 that they mentioned.
Yeah, make sure you let us know of any that we might have missed. So we've got 5 reasons. I think you should do some more research. Let's come up with like 6 or 7.
That's a great idea. We can come up with a bunch of reasons that people love to be here, but we'd love to hear that from you. So chime in. We'd love to hear from you. And if you have any questions or would like to start the conversation, you know we're available by email, phone, and text.